Well, welcome back to another Coffee and a Chat Survival Saturday. Now, today, what I want to talk about isn't necessarily something to save money, although potentially it could. But this is more about being prepared and being able to get through tough times. So, one of the things that that I've thought about is how dependent we are on the internet. Okay, and I do this too. You want to research something, so you Google it, and you want to know how to fix, an appliance or a squeaky floor or whatever, and you go to YouTube and you look for a video. There's, websites that specialize in telling you about herbs and different plants, what's edible, what's medicinal, things like that. There are training videos on how to do simple sewing and mending and all. But, it's great. I love it because, excuse me, when I, pull up a video or something, then I can actually see somebody demonstrating it, doing what it is that I need to do. Now, I've also learned that some of the things they're showing me and saying this will work this way or this is great, they're just trying to make a video to make money. They haven't really tried it out, and it's not everything they're promising you it's going to be. So, this dependency on the internet. Okay. Well, if you've ever been through a power outage, there goes the internet. Or just the internet going down, and even our government has issued warnings that power grids going down, internet being down, there being interruptions, a lot of it because I don't know what it's overloaded or whatever. The thing is, all your information has the potential of being shut down, and then what do? I got a tickle in my throat. I gotta go find a video about a tickle in my throat. Okay, so one of the things that I love in life are books. I love books. I would much rather hold a book in my hands and turn the pages and all of that than to just pull something up on my phone and read it, or what is it, on a Kindle or a tablet, or I don't even know. See, the technology thing isn't, although I am too dependent on it, but it's not as difficult for me to give up because there's so much I just don't know or understand. All right, so here's my tip for today for survival, all right, is build a library. Oh, anybody want a puppy? I still have 2 that need homes, and I'm sure that's who's barking. Okay, start building a library, and you don't have to go online and pay big money or anything. I'll tell you where some of the best books for different things that you might need information are is going to a thrift store, and for like 25 cents, 50 cents, maybe $1, you can get a book. And when it comes to like herbal medicine or just even being able to forage wild plants for food, I like the older books better. Before, that kind of a thing was kind of like the in thing to do, because when something becomes popular and everybody starts wanting to make money on it, then all kinds of things are produced that aren't necessarily going to really be accurate or as full of information. Now, I had somebody give me a book for my birthday one year because they know, that I'm a backyard herbalist, that I make my own medicine and all this. And a lot of the techniques that I use would fall under what Native Americans did. Okay, so if I have to say that I have a certain style, that's where I would say. Now, this book, they got me this book on Native American herbal medicine and how to, find the plants and make your own medicine. You guys, this book is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. It's not even like whole pages, they'll go and like the sentence doesn't finish, and there's just nothing there except for maybe a drawing that doesn't even necessarily have anything to do with it. And this is real life, and surviving. There are puppies right over here next to me, just about 7 feet away, chewing on a rope, having a good time. It's life. Okay, so moving beyond the distraction of puppies, which we've got a lot of distraction with puppies here, is finding something that really does have good information. Even having like a dictionary. I was thinking the other day, nobody has a complete encyclopedia set because there's always one of the books seems to be missing because somebody borrowed it and it didn't come back or anything. And I thought, I almost maybe should try to piece together an encyclopedia, set, get what I could from a thrift store. But I don't even think they sell them anymore because I think they were so overloaded with them. But, some of those things that we used to have and we got rid of, probably be really good to have about now. So I like to go look for the older books when it was really, people that actually did these things. Now, I had a great aunt, my Aunt Elizabeth. I was in my 20s by the time she passed away, and she was a favorite of mine. But when she was younger, she never married and, never had a family. But she always took care of people. She wasn't a nurse or anything, but she took care of people that had health issues or whatever, because back in those days, she didn't have to have, a health degree or anything. And she treated everybody with natural medicines. And I got one of her old cookbooks. And in her cookbook, that's another book you should be getting, her cookbooks. But that make things from scratch, and you buy a box of cake mix and then you want to know how to do stuff from scratch. But she wrote recipes, like if a baby had croup, then you mixed all this stuff together and made a poultice, and she has all the information in there and stuff. So that has been really awesome. But see, that's how people used to live. They couldn't always go to a doctor, and they had to know how to take care of things and how to take care of each other. And yeah, I'd venture to say that day is coming back rapidly. And for some, it's already here. So we need to know how to do a little bit of everything. I have, because I have books from my grandparents and my parents and all, and I've been going through, because I'm not exaggerating when I tell you I have thousands, or I did have thousands of books. And I've been going through and figuring out what I need to keep and what to get rid of. But there's one book, I think the title is How to Build a House for $3,400, something like that. And because back when this book was written like 100 years ago or so, you could build a house for that if you did the work yourself. And but it shows how to do everything, how to do plumbing, how to do the electrical and some of this stuff isn't going to be like what we have now. It's going to be much more primitive, but it still gives you the basic idea. And who knows, maybe we end up having to do something primitive, but it shows you how to frame a wall, all kinds of stuff in there. And my mom always kept that book because she thought the title was hilarious. It had belonged to my grandfather. And so she just thought, wow, if you could build a house for that. And I'm keeping the book because there's some good information in there, some good instructions, some things that I might need to know one day, or somebody in my household might need to know. So looking at things like that, books on gardening, seed saving, foraging. I always said medicine, or natural medicine, or even first aid. Build a library of actual books that you can take off the shelf, and make sure they have pictures. Pictures are very helpful. And, and have those where you can access them to take care of things that need to be done. And so I'm choosing what to keep and what to let go. And when I go to a thrift store, I love going to thrift stores. I always glance through the books and see what I can find. So, that's my tip today, is build an actual library for yourself. You don't have to have 1 million books. If you've got a dozen really good books, oh yeah, you're set. I don't know which one it is, but forgive him. Anyway, doing that, building that library and having that hands-on, and with that, having basic tools, a hammer, a saw, have some nails, some screws, screwdrivers, and not power tools. That's the other thing is not thinking about doing things that you have to plug in or put a battery in it. Because again, if you don't have power, if the power goes down, then it won't work. So I've been collecting things. My mom had one of those hand crank egg beaters, and then I found another one in the thrift store, so I think I've got 2 of them now. Things like that. I've been gathering them, and funny enough, not just gathering them, but using them to save on electricity and to know how to use them, to be comfortable with them. I have a treadle sewing machine that I've got to get a couple pieces for it. It needs a belt and something else. I don't remember now. But, and I've never used a treadle machine. I don't know how to use it, but fun fact, Marvin knows how because his grandmother had one and the kids used to run the pedal for her. So he knows how to go forward and backwards. So I figure, he'll teach me what he knows and I can figure it out. It can't be that hard because other than that, I'm down to, sewing by hand. And this is something I need to do because one of my last sewing machines is on its last leg and my repair guy went out of business. And I would have to drive over an hour now just to take my sewing machine to get fixed, and that's not going to happen. So learning how to do things myself, how to repair those machines, and an old treadle machine is pretty simple. The mechanics of it, it's not complicated, and the only power it needs is my strength. So the focus was supposed to be on books. Go get you some good books today. Old books. Look through them. Make sure they really have information that they're not like that one Indian herbal medicine book that I got. And I've kept it just because it is just crazy. Like, I can't believe this book, it was self-published, of course, but I can't believe that they ever even put it out for sale. I would be embarrassed to have my name on that. So, anyway, so you want to make sure you get a good quality book, like I said, that has pictures and really explains things, and go to the thrift store so you can get an older one and just pay pennies for it instead of lots of dollars. All right, that's my tip for today. I hope you guys are doing well. I have a very, very busy week and weekend, and lots of things coming up, and summer is starting to happen, and it can really just, it can be distracting, it can be overwhelming, so it helps me practice on keeping my mind on the right things and keeping my focus where it belongs. But anyway, I love you guys. I'm praying for you. Make sure you stay in the Word, read it for yourself, understand it for yourself as the Holy Spirit gives you interpretation, and be building that relationship with Jesus Christ, because I'm telling you, we need him more today than we did yesterday, and we're going to need him even more tomorrow. So that relationship that you have with Jesus Christ, that's everything. And if you don't have that relationship with him, you might want to think about it. All right. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later.